السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب زدني علما اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا
وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. I welcome you all to the class of دروس اللغة العربية لغير الناطقين بها. And last time we did Form 10, right? Inshallah, Form 10 استقبل يستقبل. Today we have remaining stuff left in our lesson. Inshallah ta'ala, lesson number 25. Inshallah ta'ala. So today we have nawasib al-mudara to cover. Right, so alhamdulillah. Nawasib al-mudara. Let's begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So we learned 4 of them. We learned 4 of them. Now, we learned 2 of them actually. One is we learned, what did we learn? We learned an, right? We learned an. An, we learned lan, correct? And today we'll learn about kai, right? Kai. And the one more is idan. Idan, right? An, lan, kai, idan. We learned 2 of them. We learned others also, by the way. Huh? By the way, there's a difference of opinion. Some say la, we learned la. Some say, I mean, we follow the Basri school. Yeah, la muftali. Yeah, that's what I say. We follow the Basri school. I mean, this book follows and many books follow. We just say there are 4. Others beside this, we say there's an unhidden. There's an unhidden. So lam of ta'lil, it's actually li and unhidden. It's not directly making it mansub or hatta, for example, right? Hatta, for example, it doesn't. We don't say directly it's making mansub. We say it is indirect. There's an mudmara, correct? There's an mudmara over there, right? We say there's an mudmara over there, okay? Inshallah. So actually there are many others indirectly which make mansub, an, lan, kai, idan, lam of ta'lil, hatta, which make it mansub. The meaning doesn't change when we say it's mansub. I mean, we don't say the meaning changes. It's just that it takes a fatha, or if there's a noon, the noon drops, right? The noon drops. Nawasibul mudara. The noon drops. Correct. Noon drops. So there's lamul juhud also. Something which he doesn't teach in this book, I guess. Lamul juhud comes with ma kana. Ma kana Allahu liyu'adhibahum. It comes in ma kana, and all the time it's called lamul juhud. And then there's fa sababi also. Fa sababiya. Like something happens before and then fa adhaba, something like that. This also doesn't come. It comes in ajrumiya, I think. Fa sababiya. Okay. Like that. There are like few, 2, 3 he doesn't teach in this book. Because they are very rare. Okay, let's begin with kai. Today we're learning kai or likai, right? Kai or likai, both are used. Kai or likai, both are used. Kai means so that. Likai also means so that. Correct? We already use li. It's the same as li, right? Like we learned in starting, darastu, kharajtu min al-fasli. Kharajtu min al-fasli. I left from the class, li aghsila. Li aghsila. So I can, li aghsila wajhi, to wash my face, right? So I can change it to likai aghsila. Same thing. I don't know the difference as such. Likai aghsila is the same thing. Or you can just use kai also, I believe. Kai aghsila. So that. It's all same. It's all the same in the meaning, okay? Right. Okay. So let's read what he has to say about kai. Istalqaytu ala khafaya. Istalqi we learned last time, which means to lie down. Istalqaytu ala khafaya likay astariha. So that I can rest. Khafaya means on the back of my neck. That is on my back. Khafa. Kay min nawasib al-mudari'i. He says kay is what? من نواصب المضارع. ناصب نواصب. ويسمى حرف مصدرية ونصب واستقبال. And and we have a name for this. It's called حرف مصدرية. Why is it called مصدرية? Because it's like unmasdariya. You can use a masdar in place of that, right? Like what's called un plus masdar muawwal, right? Same thing. Harfa masdariya. So it has a masdar meaning after it. And nasbin, it makes it mansub. And istiqbal, it is always used for future. Istiqbal, yeah, future, yeah. Although the meaning is past tense, though. I don't know why istiqbal is used. لأنها تجعل ما بعدها في تعويل مصدر. Okay. Because it makes in the what comes after it في تعويل المصدر, in the interpretation of masdar. فتعويل المثال السابق. So the ta'wil means interpretation of the example is استلقيت على قفايا للاستراحة. So all this you can delete this. لكي أستريح, you can delete this, and you can use istiraha. You can use one word masdar also. Correct? And this is same like unmasdariya. We learn ma masdariya also, right? Same thing. Ma masdariya and unmasdariya, it's similar. للاستراحة. Okay? I mean, there's nothing more about it. والغالب أن تسبقها لام الجر التي تفيد التعليل. And most of the time, غالب, and most of the time, what happens is you have a li kai. You can just say kai, or you can just say li kai, and most of the time you have to put this lam of ta'lil. فإن لم تسبقها فهي مقدرة. And even if you don't, it doesn't precede it, the lam doesn't come before it, it is estimated. So even if you don't say the li kai, we just say kai, that means you have to understand that there's a li there. There's a li there, okay? It's just underestimated. So it has to come. Li has to come, he says. Even if it's not there, you just imagine it. إذا دخلت لا النافية على الفعل كتبت متصلة. If you want to say no, so that I don't do something. لا نافية, la of what? Prohibition. No, not prohibition, negation. Right? I don't want to do something. You say likhaila, you write it together, likhaila. So it becomes like one word. Actually, there are three words, right? There are three words here, li, and then kai and la. But we write it as one word, likhaila. Nahu asri' likhaila ta'akhkhara an ad-dars. Right? Quick, go quickly. Asri', go quick. Asra, you say form 4. Be quick. Likhaila ta'akhkhara an ad-dars. So that you don't become late from the lesson. An means from here. لكي لا تتأخر. تأخر يتأخر, this is form 5, right? تأخر يتأخر. تتأخر أنت تتأخر عن الدرس. So that you don't become late from the lesson. لكي لا. So it's written like one word. لكي لا. So that you don't do something. Yeah? So he gives some examples for that. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية لكي لكي for لكي. He gives some examples for that. Like how many examples? 5 examples. التحقت الجامعة الإسلامية لكي أتعلم اللغة العربية وعلوم الدين. التحق يلتحق form 8. I joined the Islamic University بالجامعة الإسلامية لكي أتعلم, so that I can learn تعلم يتعلم, study اللغة العربية and علوم الدين, Islamic sciences. So a point here is لكي أتعلم. لكي li made it mansub. Li made it mansub. أتعلموا became أتعلم. Like very simple. اجتهد, اجتهد كي تنجح. Work hard so that you can become successful. نجح ينجح تنجح. And كي again made it mansub. تنجح, اجتهد كي تنجح. And there's no li here, so you have to say there's a li which is muqaddara, hidden li. Hidden li, which is making it mansub. قال أحمد لأخته. Ahmad said to his sister, ابحثي عن هذا الكتاب في مكتبة كليتك. Search, بحث يبحث, شو search. ابحثي عن هذا الكتاب. Search for this book في مكتبة كليتك, in your college library. مكتبة مضاف مضاف إليه. اكتب اسمه, write its name. And why is it with a ya? Because you're speaking to a girl, no? To a sister. Uktubi, Amr, uktub, uktuba, uktubu, uktubi. And write its name, likay la tansay, so that you don't forget. And tansay, why is it tansay? Then you have to know the nakhis conjugation, no? So nasiya is the fourth one, which is the most complex one, yeah? Nasiya yansa. But it's easier if you remember that fathas don't change. So yansa, yansayani, don't touch the fathas, yansauna. then tansa, tansayani, yansaina, then tansa, tansayani, tansauna, and then anti will become tansaina. Tansaina. Don't touch this fatha. So it becomes easy for you to understand. Huh? Don't change it to tansina like you do tad'ina or yeah. You don't change it to kasra. So tansaina. Anti is tansaina. So mansub, you drop the noon. We'll do it in book 2. دال ذهب زملائي إلى السوق لكي يشتروا الحوائج. My classmates went to the market لكي يشتروا. اشترى يشتري, and the plural was يشترون. And how will make mansub? Drop the noon. حذف النون. الحوائج is needs. My classmates went to the what do you say, souk, market, so that they can purchase الحوائج, needs or domestic requirements or whatever requirements. Hawaij. Hajatun is singular, I guess. I don't know what the singular is. Hajatun, Hawaij. Maybe. Let me just check. Maybe Hajatun, I guess, but I'm just making sure. Yes, Hajatun, no? Haja. I'm not getting the plural of Haja. 1 second. Let me just make sure. Hajatun. Al-Jamu, Hajat, wa Hajun, wa Hawaij. There are 3 plurals. Oh, okay. Yes. Al-Hajatu, Hajat, and Hawaij. Okay, Alhamdulillah. أسرع لكي لا تفوتنا فات يفوت تفوتنا الطائرة. Go quickly, be quick, so that Hawaij is most used more commonly. Yes. Hajat is also there. So what is Hajatu? He says, ما يفتقر إليه الإنسان ويطلبه. Iftakhara is to need. What a person needs and what he seeks is called Haja. Like there are 3 things, right? A person needs something, and then there's something called comfort, and there's luxury, the 3rd level. Asri'u likay la tafutana fatayfutu, so that the plane does not miss us. That means we do not miss the plane. Okay, tafutana ta'ira. Ta'ira is the file of tafuta. Okay, let's fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks with likay or likayla and make necessary changes. Add likay or likayla. Very simple exercise. I mean, nothing to do here. It's just if it's a positive sentence, add likay, and if it's negative, you add likayla. اتصل كثير من الشباب بالجامعة داش يستفسرون عن شروط القبول. And we have to make necessary changes also. Correct. So what will come here? اتصل كثير من الشباب. لكي or لكيلا. Many of the students contacted. اتصل is to contact. بالجامعة. They contacted the university so that they can. استفسر is to ask. Let's ask or get details. Istafsara, seek details. Istifsar an shurutil qubul, on the conditions of acceptance. So this will be what? Likay. Likay. And we'll drop the noun, no? Likay yastafsiru an shurutil qubul. Likay yastafsiru an shurutil qubul. So that they can ask about the acceptance. Now, then كان موعد الرحلة الساعة 3 صباحا وجلسنا نتحدث لكي so that we don't sleep. كان موعد الرحلة was موعد الرحلة, the appointed time of the trip was كان means was الساعة 3 at 3 a.m. صباحا 3 a.m. So they had a flight or whatever at 3 a.m. فجلسنا نتحدث, so we sat speaking. تحدث يتحدث from 5, and يتحدث then you do تتحدث أتحدث نتحدث. We start speaking لكي لا ننام, and then you make it mansub also لكي لا ننام. لكي لا ننام. سألتك أسئلة كثيرة أفهم المسألة جيدا. I asked you many questions so that I can understand the issue properly. question probably, masala. So this will be just likai, right? Likai afhama is become mansub. Likai afhamal mas'alata jayidan. likai, naam. Ya Jurju, ghayyir ismak. Yadunnu nasu annaka nasraniyu. Oh George, change your name. People can think that you are a Christian. So that people don't think you are a Christian. So this will be likaila. 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 Correct? Likaila. And yadunna mansub. Likaila yadunna nasu annaka nasraniyun. Ya Zainabu staykhidhi mubakkiratan. Oh Zainab, wake up early so that you're not late from the lesson. This will be what? Likay or likaila? Likaila. Likaila. Correct? Likaila. Tatakhiri. Drop the noon. Tatakhiri and dars. So that you are not late. Okay. All right. So this was all about likai. Likai or just kai. Same thing. So unlan kai. Then we have idan. Then you have idan. Okay. Idan. So idan. One second. So idan is also the same thing, and there are some conditions for this. So it'll teach us those conditions. Okay, idan will teach us those conditions, like when to use that. It should come in the starting and all that. Idan anta dhairaka. Then I'll wait for you. Idan anta dhairaka. Then I'll wait for you. Idan min nawasib al mudari. Again, this is also makes mudari mansub, but all the time, no, there's some conditions. وَتُسَمَّى حَرْفَ جَوَابٍ. It is called harfa jawab. Yeah. It's only in reply. Like you do this, then we'll do this, right? If you hit me, then we can reply, then I'll hit you, right? Or something like that. What jazain? Jaza also means recompense, right? You're responding to something. One nasbin and makes nasb and istiqbal and for future. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية تفهم معناها. Examine the following examples and you will understand its meaning. Hamid says, سأزورك اليوم. So he's giving an example to explain. I will visit you today بعد صلاة المغرب إن شاء الله. Hamid says what? I will visit you today بعد صلاة المغرب. So he says, okay. Then what will do? Then I'll wait for you. So this is like a reply, right? So this is like a reply to this. إذن أنتظرك. إذن أنتظرك. So there are conditions for this. Like Idan should come first and all that. So he's giving few examples to make it clear. I think it's straightforward, inshallah. Al-Mudarris هذا أحسن معجم مدرسي. This is the best school dictionary. إذن نشتريه. Then we'll purchase it. See, every time is just a reply of the previous one. In that case, you can say in that case, we'll purchase it. In that case. A third example, يصل أستاذنا غدا إلى المدينة المنورة إن شاء الله. وصل يصل is to arrive. Our teacher will arrive tomorrow to the Madina Munawwara, inshallah. إذن نستقبله في المطار. Then we will welcome him in the airport. استقبل form 10. إذن made it mansub. المدرس أخشى أن يطوى قيدك فإن غيابك كثير. I fear that طوى يطوي is to fold. So, but it's used with qaid. Qaid means attendance or your register. So yutwa khaiduka is used for you'll be rusticated from the school. You'll be kicked out from the school. I fear that you will be kicked out. You will be what do you say? Eliminated, not eliminated, eliminated, not rusticated from the school. فَإِنَّ غِيَابَكَ كَثِيرٌ. Because your غياب is your absence is a lot in the school. Is much. Expel, yeah, expel, yeah. Expel. I'm saying eliminate. كثير. حامد. إذن لا أغيب في المستقبل إن شاء الله. So this is the reply for this. So I'll not wait for you. Sorry. I'll not be absent in future, inshallah. I fear that you'll be expelled from school because your absence is a lot. He says, then I'll not wait for you. So now he'll give some conditions, like what are the conditions uh, for making it mansub? Because Idan is like a weak person, weak guy. He has to have some conditions. Like Kai and Li or An or Lan, they don't have any conditions. Like Fail Mudare comes, khalas, make it mansub. But for Idan, you have to have some condition that it should come first. There should not be any gap as such. This la is fine. La gap is fine. But there should not be any gap between these to make it mansub. If there's a gap, it's very weak. It cannot make it mansub. So tansibu idhan al-fi'l al-mudari' mudari' bi-shurut al-atiyati. The following are the conditions of idhan makes mansub the fi'l mudari' verb bi-shurut al-atiyah with the following conditions. أن تكون متصدرة. تصدر يتصدر is from 5 again to be first. To be first. That should be first. متصدرة, it should come in the first. Sadrul kalam. It should come in the beginning. So first condition is it cannot come second. You have to have it first. And ba أن تكون غير مفصولة عن الفعل بغير القسم ولا النافية. And there should not be mafsul means fasala is to give a gap. So it should not be with a gap. غير مفصولة. So, I mean, he says it should be without a gap. غير مفصولة عن الفعل from the verb بغير القسم, except a qasam can come, like wallahi, right? You can bring in between. Idhan wallahi la aghiba. That's fine. And la nafiya is also fine. But anything else should not come, in between to make it mansub. Two things can come, that is la can come, qasam can come, wallahi, but nothing else should come. And third condition, an yakuna zaman al-fi'li mustaqbal, and it should be used for future. You cannot use it, then I'll do this. It should be for future. You cannot use it for past. زمن الفعل مستقبلا. Okay, the tense should be future tense. Give 3 examples. So here's an exercise. Give 3 examples for idhan. Idhan antadhiraka, I'll wait for you. Some example. Idhan, let me open the answers sheet. Idhan nastaqbilaka, then we'll welcome you. Some story like the principal's coming tomorrow. Idhan nastaqbilahu, then we will do this. Sorry, which exercise is this? He started a new numbering. 1 second. Which lessons is 25, right? So we want astaghfir tasalla kathir likay. He's giving examples. Sa'atika ba'da al-asr inshallah. I'll come to you after asr inshallah. Bilal says, Idhan la akhruja, then I'll not leave. So 3 examples. الشيخ الهلالي عالم جليل. Sheikh Hilali is a big scholar. دروسه مفيدة, and his lessons are beneficial. الطلاب إذا نحضر دروسه, then we'll attend his lessons. المدرس سأنتقل إلى بيت الجديد غدا إن شاء الله. I will transfer to my new house tomorrow inshallah. I'll move to my new house. إذا نساعدك, then we will help you. So 3 examples for إذن. يقول طالب شيئا ويرد عليه زميله مستعملا إذن. So oral exercise, the student will say something like, I'm going to my house tomorrow. Right? So he'll say, okay, I'll come with you. Something. إذن آتيك معك. آتيك معك. You have to make it mansub. يرد عليه زميله. Each student says something and his colleague replies to him using إذن. Okay. So this is all about Idhan. So this is the second point which he teaches in this lesson. Very simple, straightforward, inshallah. Okay. Point number 7. Lastahmamtu wala aftartu. I did not, istahimu is to take a bath. I did not take a bath, wala aftartu, and did not have breakfast. Correct? So la, now we've learned it many times, I believe. If you use Madi, right? You have to use ma with Madi. Ma with Madi. Okay, ma with Madi. This is madin. Ma with fail madi. Ma is used for negation, like ma dhahabtu. I did not go. If you use mudare, we have to use la adhabu. I'm not going, or I will not go. Correct? This is the standard. With ma madi, madi use ma, and la mudara. With mudara use la. Correct? For negation. But you want to use ma with mudara. Right? First we saw that in book 2, I think. I want to use ma adhabu. Okay, ma adhabu. So what it does it, we learned last time, that this thing is for both two things. One is future and present. It could be for la adhabu, future and present. But when I use ma adhabu, it is only for present. It is only for present. Correct? Like he gave an example of coffee. Like I don't drink coffee at all, so I say la ashrabul qahwata. That means I don't drink coffee at all. But if I say I don't want to drink coffee now, so I say ma ashrabul qahwata an. Or no need to use an, it's understood. Now ma ashrabul an. Yeah, I'm not drinking coffee now. That means I drink regularly. Or I'm fine with drinking, but not this thing, not now. But ma dhahabtu, if you, now he wants to teach us using la with madi. So the conditions for this, the meaning will change. Like you have to, it becomes neither nor, right? So I can say la dhahabtu, neither did I go, wala, neither did I go, wala, neither did I go, wala fa'altu shay'an. Not did I do anything, something like that. Or wala akaltu. Nor did I eat. Neither did I go, nor did I eat. So if you're using with la with madi, the condition is the meaning changes to two things, yeah? Neither and nor, and you have to repeat the la again. You cannot use la dhahabtu alone. Okay, this is the thing which is teaching now. So it says lastahmamtu wala aftartu idha nufiya al-madi bila. If you're negating the past tense verb with la, wajaba takraruha. You have to, it's mandatory that you repeat it. So the Arabs, they use la with madi only if you repeat it and the meaning goes this, not that. وفي التنزيل, in the Quran it came فلا صدق ولا صلى. Neither did he believe. صدق يصدق تصديقا is to believe, accept. Neither did he believe, ولا صلى, nor did he pray. And this is in Qiyamah. Okay, so this is the next point which is teaching. If you're using la with madi, you have to repeat it. And he has an exercise for that. In fil fi'layn fi kulli jumlatin mimma yati bila. Negate both the verbs in which of the following sentences. Nafa yanfi is to negate. Another meaning of nafa is to expel. In some place in lesson 5, when we learned ismu zaman makka makan, manfan came, place of expelling. Ismu makan somewhere. So same meaning, same word, different meaning. Infil fi'alaini, to do nafi. Nafi means this thing. Qara'tu ad-darsa wa katabtuhu. I wrote the lesson. I read the lesson. So you have to say and wrote it. Neither did I write the lesson, nor did I read the lesson, nor did I write it. So we use la, right? La qara'tu ad-darsa. La qara'tu ad-darsa. Qara'tu ad-darsa. Darsa wala katabtuhu. Wala katabtuhu. Katabtuhu. Correct? Wala katabtuhu. La qara'tu ad-darsa wala katabtuhu. So you just repeat it. La qara'tu ad-darsa wala katabtuhu. Like here. La qara'tu ad-darsa wala katabtuhu. Ra'aytuhu wa kallamtuhu. I saw him and I spoke to him. So you have to say, I did not see him, nor did I speak to him. Kallama yukallimu is takliman, is to speak. So la ra'aytuhu, la ra'aytuhu, la ra'aytuhu, wala kallamtuhu. Wala kallamtuhu. Kallamtu. Fine. La ra'aytuhu wala kallamtuhu. I did not see him, nor did I speak to him. Neither did I see him, nor did I. Darabani wa darabtuhu. I did not hit him, nor did I hit him. Neither did he hit me, nor did I hit him. La darabani wa la darabtuhu. Very simple, right? Inshallah. Akalna wa shahidna. You can do the last one, inshallah. We did not eat, nor drank. Add la to it. You don't change anything at all. La akalna. Yeah, naam. La akalna wa la sharibna. Neither did I eat, nor did I drink. La akalna wa la sharibna. Okay. Right? Right. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Naam. No issues. الآن تأتي وقد انتهى الدرس. So now next he's teaching واو الحال. We already learned this, but he's adding one more point to it. Now you came and while the lesson has ended. Now إذا دخلت واو الحال على جملة فعلية فعلها ماض مثبت دخلت معها قد. Okay, we learned واو الحال, no? In lesson number 2, if you remember, right? دخلت المسجد. I entered the masjid while something was happening. وَالْإِمَامُ يَرْكَعُ. وَالْإِمَامُ, while the imam was doing the ruku'. Correct? We learned wawul hal. While. In lesson number 2. Right? Now, if you want to use wawul hal with a verbal sentence, right? With a verbal sentence, and it is fail madi. Right? It is fail madi. And it is positive, it's not negative, then you have to use qad, he says. Just, you have to use qad. So, al-ana ta'ati, now you use waw. And this is madi, that's fine. Is it positive? There's no negation, right? Yes, it's positive. Correct? Is it madi? Yes, it's madi. So you have to use qad. So it says, إذا دخلت واو الحال على جملة فعلية. So you're entering waw al-hal. Generally, waw al-hal should come with ismiya. The waw of hal should come with ismiya. But if you want to do it with a verbal, then fi'luha madin. So you have to use it with madi, because something is happening while something was happening, right? And muthbat, it should be affirmative, right? Muthbat, dakhalat ma'aha khad. You should use it with waqad. You should use it with khad. For example, he gives some examples. تأمل المثال ثم أكمل الناقص. Rewrite the following sentences, changing the subordinate nominal sentences to verbal sentence. So he has an exercise for this. So change the ismiya to fa'liya. Ismiya to fa'liya. So just add qad. I mean, nothing more else. Just add, the rule is just add qad. Just add qad. So he says, دخلت المسجد والإمام يسلم. This is ismiya, no? Jumla ismiya. I entered the masjid while the imam is giving salam. دخلت المسجد وقد سلم الإمام. So translation wise, and certainly the imam had given salam. Maybe a little change here and there, but it's similar meaning. So it says jumliyatun fi'liyatun fi'luha madin muthbatun. So two conditions are there. One, it should be fi'l madi, and second is it should be muthbat, affirmative sentence. And you have to change into jumla fi'liya. So if, for example, dakhaltu masjida wal imamu yukabbiru. I entered the masjid while the imam was saying takbir. Kabbara yukabbiru takbiran. So you have to use the dakhaltu masjida wa qad kabbara al-imamu. So you have to say dakhaltu masjida masjida waqad, and you have to say waqad and use madi. So kabbara yukabbiru waqad kabbara al-imamu. Kabbara al-imamu. This is kabbara al-imamu. Right? Waqad kabbara al-imamu. Right? Dakhaltu al-masjida. This is masjid, by the way. Waqad kabbara al-imamu. Right? So use with qad. دخلنا المسجد والمؤذن يقيم. So I can type this also. we entered the masjid. Dakhalna al-masjida. So yuqimu is aqama, no? Wa aqamal muadhin. And while the aqama yuqimu is to give iqama, to say iqama, no? Oh, we have to use qad, no? Waqad aqamal muadhin. So with verbal sentences, if you have to use waw al-hal, you have to use madi as well as use qad, and there should be no negation in it. No negation. وَقَدْ أَقَامَ الْمُؤَذِّنُونَ. Okay. وَصَلْنَا الْمَدِينَةَ الْمُنَوَّرَةَ وَالشَّمْسُ تَغْرُبُ. You can see the answers also. We arrived Madina Munawwara while the sun was setting. So غَرَبَ يَغْرُبُ وَقَدْ غَرَبَتِ الشَّمْسُ. وَصَلْنَا الْمَدِينَةَ الْمُنَوَّرَةَ وَقَدْ غَرَبَتِ الشَّمْسُ. So you can see وَقَدْ غَرَبَتِ الشَّمْسُ. وَقَدْ غَرَبَتِ الشَّمْسُ. While the sun was setting. Oh, same meaning, kind of similar. While the sun had set, certainly we can translate. وصلت المطار والطائرة تهبط. I arrived at the airport while the plane was descending. هبط يهبط is to descend. هبط, go down. So وصلت المطار وقد هبطت الطائرة. While the plane had descended. No, plane was descending. We can say habata to descend. In book 2 somewhere he used habata yahbitu mahbit al-wahy. Some guy came to the institute, if you remember, in book 2 or book 3 somewhere. He came and said he came as ambassador from Pakistan, Lahore. In some story, he brought mahbit al-wahy. He brought a word mahbit, this place of descension of the wahy. دخلت الفصل والمدرس يشرح الدرس. I entered the class while the teacher was explaining the lesson. So you can say دخلت الفصل وقد شرح المدرس الدرس. دخلت الفصل وقد شرح المدرس الدرس. Right? We use قد جملة فعلية. So he explains it with the formula here. If you're using واو الحال with جملة اسمية, fine. Right? Use it normally with a nominal sentence. واو الحال, if you're using with this thing, جملة فعلية ماضٍ, you have to use it with the verbal sentence. They use قد in between, and then we have to use جملة فعلية فعلها ماضٍ مثبت. Two conditions. It should be a past tense verb and affirmative verb. So this is the fourth rule which we learned today. Right, fourth grammar portion. One we learned till now. We learned likai, and then idan, and we learned the conditions for idan, right? That the conditions were it should be in the starting, there should be no gap between them, and the meaning should be in future. And we learned about this thing, waw al-hal, as well as if you're using la with madi. If you're using la with madi, you have to repeat it. Next thing is Jahala. Jahala, the four meanings of Jahala. Jahala. There are four meanings of Jahala, and they're very common meanings. This is the pattern. And this is, I believe, the last part of the lesson. This one more small point after this. وَجَعَلْتُهُ بَيْنَكُمْ مُحَرَّمًا. He just explains the four meanings of Jahala. Jahala huna min af'al tahwil. Jahala is from the verbs of tahwil. So there are some verbs in the Arabic language which means to change, like sayyara, one thing to another thing. وَهِيَ بِمَعْنَى sayyara. It's the same meaning as sayyara. Sayyara yusayyiru taysiran is to change. So it is the same meaning as tahwil. They call af'al tahwil. وَجَعَلْتُهُ بَيْنَكُمْ مُحَرَّمًا. So it takes, whenever you change something to something, it needs two objects, right? So the first object is he had made it what? Muharraman. This is maf'ul bi thanin. Tansibu maf'ulaini. So it will take what? Two maf'ul bi. Asluhuma mubtada wa khabar. And it was actually a mubtada and khabar. That was, if you remove ja'altuhu, right? So we can translate, you can make the sentence that huwa bainakum muharraman. It is between you prohibited. So actually it was a sentence before, and Jahala came and made it two maf'ulun bis. So we say Tansibu maf'ulain yasluma mubtada'un wa khabarun. It's mubtada and khabar. There's like, for example, al-khamaru haramun. Khamar is haram. So both of them will become an object now. Ja'alallahu al-khamara haraman. Right? Haraman. Ja'alallahu al-khamara haraman. Correct? Very simple, inshallah. Wafit tanzil, very common. This is Allah has made something as something, changing, in the meaning of changing. Alam taro kaifa khalaqallahu sab'a samawatin tibaqa. Don't you see that how Allah has created the seven skies one upon the other? Tibaqa, tibaqa. Wa ja'ala al-khamara fihinna, and He has made the moon in it. Noora. Wa ja'ala al-shamsa siraja. So has made, so ja'ala mafulun bihi awwal, and then this is mafulun bihi thanin. This is mafulun bihi awwal, and this is thani. He has made the moon what? As light. And He has made the sun as what? Siraj, as a lamp. Sirajan, as a lamp. So it will take two mafulun bihi. This is his point. Wallahu ja'ala lakum al-arda bisata. Surah Nuh. Allah has made for you the earth as bisata, as a carpet, we could say. Bisata. So this is al-arda and this is bisata. Mafulun bi awwal. This is the first one and this is the second one. Right? Allahu ja'ala lakum al-arda bisata. Right? Mafulun bi awwal. And this is thani. وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ لَجَعَلَ النَّاسَ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. And if Allah wanted, He would have made the people as one ummah. So anyone can tell me where are the two mafulun bis here? If you can. If Allah wanted, He would have made you one nation. He would have made the people as one nation. So where is the two mafulun bihis? Any idea? If you can reply. Nobody? An-nas wa umma. Correct. No, correct. Alhamdulillah. So this is one, an-nasa, and this is two, an-nasa wal ummatan. So what is wahidatan doing here? Wahidatan. What is wahidatan? This thing? Adjective, yes. Naam, sahi. And this is the naat for ummatan. Correct? Ummatan. Correct. Alhamdulillah. So an-nasa is the maf'ul bi awwal. This is the thaniya. So how do you know which one is which? You can guess from the context, yeah? Jahala. This is the first meaning of Jahala. It's first meaning of Jahala, which is in the meaning of this thing. To change. The second thing is watati Jahala bimana dhanna. And it can come in the meaning of dhanna min af'ali rujhan. Rujhan means you're inclined towards something. You don't have clear evidence, but you deem something. You claim something. Right? Rujhan. So it can come in the meaning of dhanna, to think something, to deem something. Nahu وَجَعَلُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ إِنَاثًا. And they have made, in translation we can say they made, or they claim, or they believe. They believe the angels الَّذِينَ هُمْ عِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ إِنَاثًا. Who have who are the slaves of the Rahman, of the most beneficent. Inatha, they have made it what? Inatha. So this also will take two mafulun bi. Wajalul malaikata mafulun bi awwal. And this is all sila, no? Which changes? Alladina hum ibadur rahman. This is called sila of mausul. Right? This is the ismul mausul. Sorry, alladina is the ismul mausul here. And this is the sila. Hum ibadur rahman is the sila. Correct? So this is all relating to the angels. You're describing the whole angels by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing by the whole sentence. And inathan is the mafulun bihi thanin. This is the second mafulun bihi. So mafulun bihi awwal is here and mafulun bihi thanin is here. So they have made the angels what? Who are the slaves of the Rahman? Inatha, servants of the Rahman as females. They made all the angels as females. Inath, untha, inath. That means they believe. Ja'ala bihadain al-ma'nayain min akhwati dhanna. It is from the sisters of dhanna. So this meaning, dhanna also takes two objects. Right? We learned, some classes ago. Dhanna will also take, because he thought something as something, yeah? Or something as someone, something as well. Dhanantuhu mudarrisan. I thought him as a teacher. That means I believed him to be. وتكون أيضا من أفعال الشروع. The third meaning of جعل could be from starting. And this came in lesson 9, 8, 9 something. He started this أفعال الشروع, starting. وتعمل حينئذ عمل كان. In the lesson مبتدا خبر, he taught this. It does the work of kana that time. So it will come with fail mudare, like جعلته يبكي. He start جعلته أبكي. I started crying. جعل حامد يضربني. جعل حامد يضربني. So Hamid. So now it will work as kana. So we say this is Hamidun is ismu kana, and yadribuni is the yadribu only is the khabar of kana. وقد مرت بك في درس سابق. He also says this has preceded you in the passed by you in the previous lesson. So how do you know this is of starting? Well, you have a fail mudare, no? Fail mudare coming. So because if you literally translate, you cannot make sense. Hamid made, started, no? It doesn't make sense. So we learned 2-3 verbs that time. We learned tafiqa also. Tafiqa, if you remember, tafiqa, like it comes in the Quran, tafiqa yakhsifani min waraq al-jannah. Adam al-Islam, they started, and Hawa, alayhim salam, they started covering themselves with leaves. So tafiqa. And we learned akhada also. Like akhada hamidun yadribuni. Hamid started hitting me. And we learned shara also. Shara is also same meaning. Shara, to start. Shara also means to legislate, but here it's to start. This is called af'al shuru, to begin in the lesson. I believe in 8th or 9th, in Mubtada Khabar lesson, he teaches this. Okay. وَتَأْتِي بِمَعْنَى أَوْجَدَ. And this is a simple meaning, the fourth meaning of Jahala. وَهِيَ فِعْلٌ تَامٌ. It is a complete verb here, and it is the meaning to create something. أَوْجَدَ أَوْ يُوجِدُ is to create. Right? He made the house or something. وَتَنْسِبُ مَفْعُولًا وَاحِدًا. And this is a simple Jahala, which is only one مفعول به. كما في قوله تعالى الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور. He has created. Or made. Alhamdulillah الذي, praise be to the one الذي خلق السماوات والأرض, who created the heavens and the earth. وجعل, and made. The ظلمات is the مفعول به. That's it. And this is just معطوف. والظلمات والنور. والنور is just atf. والظلمات. Correct? So it will only take one maf'ul bih. So these are the 4 meanings of Jahala. So anytime you see Jahala, you have to guess like which meaning is this. Right? One meaning is what? One meaning is to change, right? Change. Sayyara. Like he made something into something. The other meaning is what? We learned. What did we learn? To start, right? We just learned to start. Right? To start something. And the third meaning is the simple Jahala which we learned, that to make something. And what was the other one? To believe or to think, right? Like to claim also, like Aj'altani mudarrisan. He gave an example like, did you make me as a teacher? That means, did you think I'm a teacher? So change also takes 2 maf'ulun bihis. Correct? Start doesn't take maf'ulun bihi. It's like kana. It doesn't take any maf'ulun bihi. No maf'ulun bihi. Make takes 1. Right? Make takes what? 1. And then to think takes 2 again. Right? These are the 4 types of Jahala. So he gives an exercise for that. Identify which Jahala it is. Ayin ma'na Jahala fi ma yati. Identify the meaning of Jahala. So you can help me with this. Is it to change? Is it to make? Is it to think? Or is it to, what was it? To change, to make, to think, and to begin. To begin. So which one is this? Ja'ala al-mudarrisu yashrahu ad-darsa. If I translate, the meaning will be. So which one is this out of the 4? If you can answer. Is it to make something? Is it to create? Or change? MTCB. Yabdaw, ya naam. The teacher started explaining the lesson. So you can remember MTCB. MTCB. To make. What is C? What is T? Even I forgot. Think. Yeah. Think, change, and begin. So make, think, change, begin. Jahala could come in MTCB. In all these four. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا, and has made you tribe, people, nations and tribes. Which Jahala is this? Make. If it is make, he has made you as something, no? So it's like changing. That means he made you into something. Correct? So it's like changing. Right? That's why two mafulun is. Ja'alnakum, as he has made you as what? Nations and tribes. Right? Nations and tribes. So this is what? Sayyara. Bimana sayyara. Okay? Not making in the sense just made, just creating. But he made us as nations and tribes. You see? So bimana sayyara. First one was min af'ali shuru. Second one was what? Bimana sayyara. To make something as something. Ja'alallahu al-hawa'a wal-ma'a. This is make. Allah made the air and the, see, nothing clear. Allah made what? Allah created the air and the water. Ja'alallah. So one mafulun bi al-hawa. This is just atf. Ja'alallahu al-hawa'a wal-ma'a. Right? This is just make. قال المدرس للطالب أجعلتني مديرا. This is to think. The teacher said to the student, did you think I'm a principal? So this will be two mafulun bis also again. This is the mafulun bi awal and this is the mafulun bi thanin. Okay, this is all about Jahala. Next is just some plurals. It'll just teach us some plurals. قفايا ياء المتكلم مفتوحة مع اسم آخره ألف أو ياء ساكنتان. So it says خفايا is a fatha. Why? Because it has آخره ألف. If it is ending with an alif, this is an alif, right? And yaun sakinatan, or ya with a sukoon, if some other word, then you give a fatha to the yaul mutakallim. For example, asaya. Why is this fatha? Why not asai with a sukoon? Because you just like to give fatha asaya. Because you're elongating, no? Asai, it'll become asai. So you'll say asaya to make it clear. Fataya, fataya. What is fataya? Fatan, my two, fatani, fataya. And we learned this in the dual lesson also. My two young boys, dunyaya, my world, dunyaya, my world, yadaya, my two hands, ghasaltu yadayya. Yadayya is ya sakinatan. Yadayya, again we'll give a fatha. We learned in the dual lesson also this rule. And some oral exercises. Tamreen shafawi. Shafawiyun yasalu kullu talibin zamilahu mata stayqadta. When did you wake up? Every student will ask his classmate, when did you wake up? Wa man ayqadaka. He's just giving practice for. Istayqada is to wake up on your own. Ayqada is to wake someone up. Wa man ayqadaka, and who woke you up? So this is just a oral exercise to help us practice. Mata stayqadta. When did you wake up? So the students say istayqadtu sa'at as-sabi'a. 7 o'clock. Wa man ayqadaka, and who woke you up? أيقظني أمي, my mother woke me up. Or أيقظتني أمي, my mother woke me up. هاتي مضارع الأفعال الآتية. Give the مضارع. Just general exercises, no? غلب يغلب, to overcome. هبط يهبط. You can see هبط يهبط, to descend. You cannot guess this. You have to memorize anyways, right? كسا يكسو is to make someone wear clothes. أفطر يفطر form 4, to have breakfast. Or iftar is also breaking a fast, right? After as-sa'imu, breaking fast. Iftar. Asarra is to whisper. Asarra yusiru, whisper or say silently. Asarra yusiru. It comes in Surah Tahrim with Asarra an-nabiyyu ila ba'di azwajihi haditha. When Prophet said secretly to one of his wives, and then she told two other wives, and then Allah informed. Surah Tahrim. Akhrada yukhridu. This is to give a loan. Akhrada yukhridu. Give a loan to someone. Give a loan to someone. Ikhtarada is to borrow or take a loan from someone else. And so the meanings he wants us to get used to it. Right? Akhradtu Hamidan. That means I gave a loan to Hamid. اقترضت من حامد. I took a loan or borrowed something from Hamid. اقترض is to borrow. اقترض form 4 and form 8. اذكر أبواب الأفعال الواردة في حديث أبي ذر. All the babs he wants to. This is all the babs. Rawa, all the verbs he wants us to find out. You can do it on your own, I guess. Just forms. Which form is this? Tadalama is form 6. And just some practice. Kasa yaksu is bab nasara. Tabaraka is form 6. Hada yahdi is bab daraba. Istaksa is form 10. Ta'ala is form 6. Istada is form 10 again. Akhta is 4. Akhta yukhtiu. Khala is Khala yaqulu nasara. Atamaytumu. So any verb you see, you can guess that. ما أصل تظالموا في قوله عليه السلام صلاة والسلام فلا تظالموا. What is the original form of تظالموا? And we learned this rule right in form 6 and form 5 also. It was actually تتظالموا. تتظالموا. The ta is dropped for takhfif. Easy pronunciation. Easy pronunciation. 15th exercise, right? تظالم. I think I missed one. هاتي مفرد الحوائج والشرطة وجمع الخفاء. Give the singular of حوائج is حاجة. We saw that, right? حاجة is singular. Needs shurta. Shurta, shurtiyun is a police guy. One guy is shurti, and the plural is shurta. And then akhfiya is the plural. جمع الخفاء. خفاء means neck or back, and akhfiya is the plural backs. And tadalamu is tatadalamu, la tatadalamu. The ta is dropped for easier pronunciation, and we saw that. It's just reviewing previous ones. Write the plural of each of the following on the pattern of uratun arin. So arin is singular, right? Arin is like qadin. Qadin. This is called mankhus, right? Lesson number 1 in book 3. And the plural will be qudat. Qudatun. So similarly, arin, naked, naked. A lot of naked. Mashin, person who walks, the guy who walks, and mushat, right? Mushat on people who are walking, walkers, mushat. Qadin, judge. So all of this mankhus you'll make generally on the plural of fu'al, of fu'atun actually. Ta madbuta. Qadin, khudat. Hadin, guide, hudat. Hudatun. Ramin, shooter. Shooter or someone who's throw. Ramayar means throw or shoot. Rumat, Rumat, Rumah. Like Jabal Rumah. If you remember, there was in Uhud, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he asked for these archers to, what do you say? Flank, watch the flank. But all of them came down. So Khalid bin Walid attacked from behind, and almost 70 of the Sahaba, became Shahid, inshallah. And then Ghazin, Ghuzat. Ghazin is the warrior. Ghazin, one participating. Like the Ottomans, Uthman Ghazi, he was called Osman al-Ghazi. The Osman, the founder of Ottoman dynasty. And Hafin is barefoot. Hufat. Plural is Hufat. So anytime you have manqus, 90% of the time you can guess the plural is on this pattern. Uratun, mushatun, khudatun, hudatun, rumat. Walin, I forgot Walin here. Walin is a governor. Walil Madina. So Wulat. Wulat means Wulatun is the governors, one who governs, ruler governors. And he gives a table at the end. Anlan Kaidan, he just summarizes. So we just read Nawasib al-Fi'l al-Mudari' arba'atu ahrufin. Nawasib al-Fi'l al-Mudari'i arba'atu ahrufin hiya. The Mudari' Mansub Nawasib are 4 huruf. An وهي حرف مصدرية ونصب واستقبال. An is حرف مصدرية, masdar, right? And then nasb, it makes it mansub, and istiqbal is used for future. Allah yuridu an yatuba alaykum. Allah wants to turn towards you. So mansub. And then lan, وهي حرف نفي ونصب واستقبال. It's lan is used for future tense, right? We did it in book 2 also in various places. It's negation and nasb and istiqbal in future tense. Nasb also. قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, you will not be able to, able to Maya sabra, have patience. In Surah Al-Kahf, he said to Musa, right? Kay wahiya harfu masdariyatin wa nasbin wa istiqbalin. Kay, we just learned kay in idan. So it's harfu masdariya, masdar meaning, and nasb meaning mansub, and istiqbal for future. Kay nusabbihaka kathira. So that we praise you a lot, or glorify you a lot. Sabbah sabbih. And then idan is called wahiya harfu jawabin wa jaza'in wa nasbin istiqbal. Right? All of these have long names because they do so many jobs. They give the name like that. It's a jawab. You only reply with idan, and jaza'in and jaza is just recompense, and nasb also makes it mansub, and istiqbal is for future. Nahu hamidun sa'azuruka. You have to give a dialogue for this because only in reply to a dialogue it will come. No, sa'azuruka ghadan inshallah. I'll visit you tomorrow. Idan antadhiraka. Then I'll wait for you. And he gave some conditions for idan also. And with this, alhamdulillah, we finished all the form 10s. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Form 2, form 3, form 4, form 5, form 6, form 7, form 8, form 9, form 10. Alhamdulillah. This lesson number 26, we are learning Al-Fi'lu Rubai. Rubai. So these all forms, only 3 root letters were there. But now we have 4 root letters. So any 3 root letters, we added 1 extra letter, right? Like, and it came in what? Form 2. It came in 2 and 3 and 4. We just added 1. And then we added 2 extra letters. And that came in form 5, right? We added ta and ein double, and form 6. And form 7 also 2 extra letters. And form 8, 2 extra letters. Form 9, how many in 9? 9 also 2 extra letters. Then you added 3 extra letters to the root letters. That was form 10. Right? This is all the story for all the 10 lessons which we did. In 4 root letters also, that means 4 root letters. Huh? Now you might think that 2 extra, that means how many? 3 plus 2, 5. You might think that, okay, 5 root letters. No, they are not root letters. They are 3 root letters with 2 extra letters. Right? The 3 base rooms and 2 extra rooms. Yes. And but now we have 4 root letters. So this is called rubai. Rubai, like zalzala, tarjama, harwala, correct? Harwala, ba'athara. Harwala is to walk fast. Ba'athara is to scatter. So we learn this inshallah in the next class. And this is very simple, very simple. There's hardly anything. Just when you get, like, it's on fa'alala, it's called fa'alala. So in the scale, we'll add another lam. Right? Fa'alala. So they added another lam. They didn't add ain and all that because that will be same like fa'ala. They did not add faf because it's so difficult to pronounce fa'ala, right? So they added a lam, or they didn't add any other letter. So it's fa'alala. So mudara is yufa'alilu. So how many letters? Notice this is also 4 letters. So anytime we learned when we were learning form 2, 3, 4, anytime it's 4 letters, give dhamma to the mudara. So yufa'alilu. Yufa'alilu. Correct? For example, we can put a scale tarjama to translate. So yutarjimu. This very, these verbs are not so common. Tarjama, yutarjimu, but you find a few of them in the Quran, right? Few of them in the Quran. This thing. This is called rubai mujarrad. Now, there are 3 abwabs for this also, right? There are 3 abwabs for this, 3 additional things, which are anyways more rare. One thing is you add a tha to this. So fa'alala becomes tafa'alala. Correct? Tafa'alala. Tafa'alala. For example, the root letters tara'ra. Tara'ra. These are rare anyways, yeah? The root letters are ra'in, ra'in. This is called muda'af, by the way. Muda'af, if you remember, 2 double letters. In rubai, they are double letters, but they are alternate. Ra'in, ra'in. Like zalzala. Yeah, tara'ra is to grow up, right? Or tamadmada. This is tafa'alala, yatafa'alalu. This is 1. So we added 1 extra letter. Another is you add 2 extra letters, and it's on the pattern of if'alalla. If'alalla. Like form 9. This is like form 9. So you can remember, 1 is like form 5, but not doubling, just adding a tha. Right? So not like form 9. Sorry, form 5. This is like form 5, but no doubling of this thing because it's already double. One is like form 5, the other is like form 9. If'alalla. We had if'alla there. This is if'alalla. This also comes in the Quran. Like you have the root letters ta, mim, and noon, or ta, mim, and hamza, and noon. Right? So the root letters are ta, mim, hamza, and noon. So you add itma'anna. Itma'anna is to be peace, to be at peace, reassured. So itma'anna. So what are the root letters here? This is extra, itma'anna, and the last noon is also extra. So the letters, root letters are ta, mim, hamza, noon. Right? Itma'anna, yatma'innu, or ishma'azza also comes to detest something, ishma'azza. So this is the second mazid fihi. So this is Rubai form 1, Rubai form 2, you can call them, but we don't call them. It's so rare. We don't give names. And then last one is we add alif and noon. If an lala. I'll write it here. If an lala. Correct? We'll add alif and noon. If an lala. And this is also ifran qa'a, for example. Very rare, rarest of the rare. Ifran qa'a. To spread out, to disperse. So what are the root letters here? It's not alif. It's not noon. Fa, ra, qaf, ain are the root letters. So one we add a tha, the other we add a alif, and last letter is double, and the last is we add like form 7. This is, but not together. The alif and noon are not added together. Very rare. This is the rarest of the rare. If an lala is like rarest of the rare. Anyways, you won't remember all this because it's so rare, no? Inshallah, this is what we are learning in this lesson. This is all Rubai Mujarrad and Rubai Mazid. Rubai Mazid, 3 Rubai Mazid, one add a ta, the other add alif and double the last letter, and third add alif and noon. If alalla, if anlala. Very rare, inshallah. And this will be the last lesson in our sarf. After that, we'll have various, mafulun, ma'ahu, and all this hal. We have a lesson for hal. Tamiz, we have a lesson for tamiz. Right? After that, we'll have all those lessons. So 9 more lessons, inshallah ta'ala, to finish this book. Inshallah ta'ala. By the way, after we finish this lesson, we'll go back and do the key, inshallah, because we're doing it every 4 lessons, right? So although we might not like doing the key, but for recording, and it's good for reviewing, inshallah ta'ala, because we're learning so many rules. Just to review once more, we'll have 2-3 classes for review after we finish 26 for 4 lessons, like 26, 25, and 24, 23. Right? So that's what we're following. And then we'll have only 8 more lessons to go. Inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallahu Khair. Barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallahumma. Yeah, we need it, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.